scot-free, lived a glorious life.
Yes.
Until he was no longer number one. He's now going to be number 2 in the ground. Allie, last week on the podcast, we got busy. I didn't get to one thing I wanted to do.
Not one? Oh, one thing that you did. Okay, I thought you meant like not one thing. Like we didn't do anything.
Oh, no. We did a lot.
Yeah, okay. So there's one thing that was coming over. Yeah, because I listened, and one of the things that you had said was like, oh, I just didn't have time.
Yep.
Okay, and I remember I said in return, well, isn't that why people listen so they come back?
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, we sort of teased you.
Yeah.
All right. This deals with cell phones. This deals with partners. This deals with possible shady business.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give you some heads up. Probably a lot of these you may know already. Some of them, it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
So maybe you've been with them for a while, okay? And these are some signs that something might be up here. So I want you to keep this in mind with their phone. Number 1,
okay,
they're on the phone a lot when you're there. I mean, a lot.
Yep.
More than maybe with you. They're, texting or doing this a lot.
Haven't you ever seen that meme with Charlie from Willy Wonka's
We'll get there.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No.
And it has a picture of him, and he's leaning on his hand and he's smiling. And the meme says something like, why are you smiling at your phone? You only should be smiling at me.
Oh, see, that's good.
That was my indication when I was getting cheated on. When they were smiling at their phone a ton, I'm like, nothing is that funny.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because they're really smiling at the person that's on the other side. Yeah.
Exactly. All of a sudden they get a text and they start smiling. You're cheating.
This one's a major red flag. They put their phone face down when you're around. So in other words, I got to find my phone.
Oh my God.
Here's the tabletop. Phone goes like that
I
all the
had
time.
an ex that one time you walked into our bathroom and the shower was right in front of you, but there was this like brick wall thing.
Yeah.
And he not only took his phone in the bathroom, like, fine, okay, you take your phone in the bathroom. He put it up on top of that brick wall. Yes.
That's weird.
Well, he was cheating, Scott.
Okay, well, that's not weird. Now we know. Number 3, they keep their screen out of your line of sight. So it's always like...
Well, isn't like the one that you just said? Yeah.
Very simple. Well, similar, yes. They look at their phone as soon as they get a notification, instantly. Like, you don't even have a second and they're checking it.
I'm going to add to this. If they turn their notifications, you can turn your notifications where you don't see who's actually texting you. It'll just say one text message.
Oh.
That's also how you know they're cheating.
That's a very good one, yeah. As soon as they read their messages, they put their phone away pronto or lock it again.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they go to the bathroom and put it on top of the brick wall in the shower.
That's true too, right? They stepped up their social media game.
Yeah, that way they know what you're doing at all times.
Oh, yeah.
The person you're cheating with knows what you're doing at all times.
They refuse to post photos of the two of you on social media when that changes from the phone. They took it, but they're just sitting there in their phone.
That's when, at the beginning of a relationship, that also matters. And when you think they're cheating. Because if you're not going to post a picture of me at the beginning of the relationship, why are you hiding this?
The last one ties right into what you were saying about the phone in the shower. They take their phone everywhere. It is never alone.
I take mine to the bathroom. Don't get me wrong. I always do.
You got to do something while you're sitting there.
Well, like I'll listen to music if I'm showering. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's a problem if you feel like you can't even leave it on the sink.
Right.
That is
like if you're running to take a quick pee, right?
Yes.
You can leave the phone on the counter if the person is, if you're still into the person, if you're not pulling something shady.
So on the opposite end, you also had something else that you were going to do last week and didn't do it for this week, is bringing your cell phone on the honeymoon.
Yes, that was another question that had come up is, should couples...
Well, it didn't come up.
Well,
it's coming up now.
It's coming up now. It really is. Should couples put their phones away on the honeymoon? You're going to take your phone with you. And there's going to be certain times that you're going rock climbing or zip lining in Jamaica.
Oh, I definitely want to capture that.
You want to capture that.
I also want to capture when they make a swan out of the towels.
Okay, that's
Every
fine.
time I see people post that, I'm like, one of these days...
I'm going to learn that.
One of these days... No, I'm not.
No.
One of these days, I am going to be the swan towel person. I am going to stay somewhere that they've made me a swan out of towels. Never in my life.
If that's your fantasy, go for it. I mean, everybody's got something, right?
That has never been mine. I really appreciate not having my phone everywhere. Like, everybody jokes because I'm always on the phone, but actually I had lunch dinner the other day with somebody, and I was telling my significant other, it really bugs me because our lives are so busy all the time.
Yeah.
So when I am with my friends, I specifically turn my phone down or don't touch my phone. It's there.
Yeah.
But
If there's an emergency, you'll know it's ringing.
Right. I don't touch my phone. I don't pick it up and scroll while we're at dinner. And it bothers the shit out of me because I feel like, you know what? I'm not the busiest person in the world, but my time is valuable. So if you're going to scroll on your phone, or if you're going to talk to somebody else, or if you're going to be this distracted, then, we don't have to be at this lunch at all. I could be at home sitting on my couch watching Netflix and be way happier with the situation.
She's getting a little fired up.
I am getting fired up because I specifically especially if it's somebody I haven't seen in a long time, do not get on your phone. I would rather spend time by myself than spend time with you who you're too busy on your phone or distracted by something else.
Yeah, you're just not, it's rude. You're not paying attention to you.
The only thing that I ever do.
That wasn't a dig, by the way. I want to point out. I wasn't
the only thing that I ever do is I will take a selfie with them sometimes, or I might take a picture of our meal or something like that. But I am always present. And my friend Bridget, now I'm really on my high horse about this. My friend Bridget up in Rochester, she will even, and this is not to applaud me, I'm just saying this is something that people need to set as a standard in their life. She always says, I always feel like you're so genuinely invested in everything I'm saying when we're together. And I am because I'm with her for a very limited amount of time. She lives in Rochester. I live here. So when we see each other, I want to hear everything she's saying.
I'll applaud you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So back to the honeymoon.
but it's still that's what being present. It all comes back full circle. Stay off your phone on the honeymoon.
Okay. So there are times that it's okay. But if you're just going down to sit at the beach or sit at the, the tiki bar on the beach, you don't need a picture of the drink with the umbrella. Or maybe get it one time and then, leave the phone in the room.
Or if we're an all-inclusive and we're at dinner somewhere, don't have your phone out the whole time. I agree.
Yeah, but don't even take your phone to that dinner. Especially on a honeymoon, you're supposed to be really enjoying each other. And that's the rest of the marriage is downhill after that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You said it right. You have the rest of your relationship to be on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? I
agree with you. I really do. I completely agree with you. I think, again, there are certain events you're going to want the pictures of. There's certain, maybe a special dinner and you're like, oh, they're going to, if it's the hibachi and they're going to.
Right.
All right. That's fine. But, every dang lunch or whatever. No, set it aside.
There's the swan towel. Okay. So Scott was absent from the show for a couple days this week. And there's 5 things that I wrote down that I had talked about on the show solo, but I wanted to go over with you. So when we come back here in a minute, there's 5 things that you don't want to miss. What does Scott have to say about obits, leaving a tip, a house showing, Netflix bites, and Dr. Emojis? So those all are going to be things we're going to talk about. As you can see, the Chemung County SPCA isn't a forever home, just a for now home. Are you the next forever home? Just take a look, chemungspca.org, or follow them on social. Usually I say no pain, no gain, but not in this case. Oh my gosh, my booty was hurting. I have been talking about this for months. My sciatic nerve has just been on fire and I couldn't figure out, well, how do I fix this? And that's when I discovered Horseheads Acupuncture and decided I'm going to give it a try. I didn't even feel the needles whatsoever. Now, you might not have sciatic issues, but if you have muscle pain, anxiety, even depression, acupuncture can treat all of that. If this is speaking to you and you want to give acupuncture a try, then text the word ACU, ACU, to the number you know so well, 71231, to see how you can get a discount on your first treatment, whether it's acupuncture, cupping, or massage. Robert from Horseheads Acupuncture spent about 2 hours with me, not only going over my treatment, cupping, and massage. He was ready to get to the root of the problem. If that's how you are feeling right now, you just want to get to the root of the problem, then try Horseheads Acupuncture right in Hanover Square and text the word ACU, A-C-U, to 71231.
All right, so you got, what, 5 things for me, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 1, doctor emojis. Are you kind of curious what's the doctor emoji topic?
Yeah, fill me in.
Okay. Doctors are going to start using emojis when they are communicating with you on your patient portal. You have the patient portal, right?
Yeah, I've never set it up. I need to do that.
Oh my God. Oh, it's so easy. I love it. Like I just went to the gyno very recently and it was like Dr. Danielle. I can't remember her last name to be honest because I called her Dr. Danielle.
Well, then you're fine with Dr. Danielle.
Dr. Danielle said this and this and this and this. Like, okay, your test came back normal. And then she wrote a couple other notes like, hey, I would like to see you. And emojis, though, the reason why doctors are saying they're going to do this, well, maybe I should get your opinion first, and I'll tell you why doctors are going to do it. Give me your opinion about doctors using emojis when communicating with you on the patient portal.
Okay, well, like you said, you were at the gyno.
Yes.
I'd be very cautious which emojis to choose.
So the water squirting emoji, definitely.
Oh, wow. Well, I was thinking that, or what is it, the eggplant? Is that the sign
emoji,
for you're good to go?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that could be kind of funny. But here's the thing. Excuse me. It really depends on what it is. If it's a physical, everything came back good, give me a thumbs up or the smiley face or, whatever the case may be.
So you're okay with them using them?
Depending on the situation. If I go in because I'm being tested for skin cancer and they come back with a, I'm going to be like, that is awful. I don't
insensitive.
want, it's, I mean, you gotta, I would hope they would call actually and not text me, hey, you got 6 months. So it really depends. It totally depends on the situation. If it's a dentist, well, you already know if you're at the dentist that all your teeth are good. They're right in there. It really depends on what it is.
The idea was, and this is what I had talked about during the show, was it makes the doctors a little bit more empathetic and open to communication because doctors don't always have the best bedside manner.
Some do, some don't. Yeah.
And this way, and we even had a nurse text us, which was awesome. And she
shoots you an emoji?
She said that she does use, because they don't have emojis within their portal yet, that she'll use the semicolon with a half parentheses.
Yeah.
And she said she uses that and she notices that patients that she uses that with, it might be like, hey, your test results were great. And then she'll use the semicolon and then the parenthesis. She said that patients were more engaging with her after she used those little smiley faces.
Again, it all comes down to what doctor you're seeing for what. If it's
you're so business.
Well, I know what you're trying to say, but the problem with it is if it's the wrong situation or whatever, I just think it would be wrong. I would hope the doctors would know that, though. They'd be like, well, we're not going to deliver bad news with an unhappy face, and be like, call me. We got to talk about this diagnosis. That would be really bad. If it's just a positive, a quick, hey, here's a great one. If it's a pediatrician, can I give my 3-year-old 8 ounces of children's Tylenol? If it's a thumbs up and that's what I get, that works perfect. If it's my 3-year-old has a hard belly and I don't know what that means, I don't need the shoulder shrug.
I don't know.
Come on,
Can you imagine getting the shoulder shrug from your doctor?
Yes. Don't know. When I'm it.
Right? Or if they put the phone emoji where you're tapping the phone. Hold on, I have to Google it. Emoji.
Bad move. So, okay. Partway there with
I think part of that too is you don't communicate as much with emojis. Like if I look at my text messages with Scott, I'm just going to go back.
I don't use emojis hardly ever
at all.
No, I really don't.
Like going back through.
Well, here's an emoji for you. You're going in for a blood test and somebody emojis you this. The praying sign.
Yes.
Don't do that. No.
We literally have no emojis. Okay, then I'm going to go over and I'm going to do like my friend Sonia. There's an emoji. I can see 2 on the screen right now.
Yeah, but that's
ironically, one's the shrugging one.
That's your friend and your hairdresser and your waxer. So
she's my everything. She's my everything.
That's a little different.
She's also my doctor too. I'm always like, what is this lump? Hold on. She has checked and extracted lumps off of my body.
Oh my God. She couldn't get rid of that skin tag a few months ago though, could she?
I wish she would have, but I wouldn't let her.
But if your gyno sends you, I don't know, the poopy emoji with the eggplant, what does that mean? Do you have you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that?
Shit out of luck.
Oh God. I don't think the eggplant's out of luck. So.
Here's the second one I covered. It's called Netflix Bites. I love this idea. Netflix is doing pop-up restaurants.
Right.
And it's only supposed to be in one city, but I think it should be in multiple cities myself.
So that'd be a kind of a cool tour, I think. Yeah.
The pop-up restaurant there's a Top Chef show or Restaurant Impossible. And on different days of the week, it'll be Gordon Ramsay will be cooking or Robert Irvine will be cooking. So it's those Netflix chefs that you've come to love so much are cooking your meal on a certain day, on that whatever pop-up day that you reserve the reservation for.
It's all right. I see why this is only going to be in New York, Chicago, and LA,
right?
And Miami.
Just LA right now.
Yeah. Well, you see where I'm going. It's going to be in those Big Ten. It's going to be New York, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, Miami. You know, I like the idea. I really do like the idea. It's gonna. Do
you like the idea?
I like the idea. It's gonna get whittled down if it becomes bigger. You might get to a Buffalo and get a local chef that would make the recipe that the famous chef was doing, or you might come down here and they might do something similar to that. But it sounds good. It'd be fun to taste it. I would love to see Gordon Ramsay in the food truck preparing it for me and yelling at me.
Gordon Ramsay is not coming to the Finger Lakes.
No, unless he's going to a winery to hang out. Yeah.
Right. As much as I would love to see that, they always are going to hit the top 10.
But yeah, understand that's a population base. That's why they're doing, those big cities are always, huge population. It's all about that money. And that's okay. That's all right. It's a cool idea if you happen to be in a city that has it. If you and I were in New York City and it was there, and I don't know if it was Gordon or another chef, and we felt like standing in the line, I think it'd be cool to try it.
The thing about you're saying it's population based, the reservations are going to book up so fast.
Oh, you'll never get in. Yeah.
We're here. Even if you did it here, you're going to get booked.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not give the opportunity for us? It makes it so frustrating to me, and to show off our area too, because I'm sorry, I've seen 1,000 skyscrapers in New York City and Chicago and LA. Have you seen the waterfall in Ithaca?
Yeah.
No.
I agree. I think that would be great to do that.
So since we're on the dinner topic, the next one is dinner at the house showing. So I've been looking for a house extensively. We've been looking for a house extensively.
It's been a process.
And the other day I went into a house without my significant other. This normally would never happen, but it just so happened that the house that we were looking at, they Airbnb their house, and they had a bunch of Airbnb bookings. So we could only get in between 2 Airbnb guests. Okay. And it happened to be 2:00 in the afternoon, and my significant other couldn't go with us. So he said, just vet it for us. If you really like it, then we'll try to get back in, but just go and see if this is anything.
He's now given up.
As soon as we drive up to the house, I knew this is not the house.
Okay.
They didn't mow their lawn, which makes me, and I've been getting so much shit about this. Whenever I badmouth some houses on the air, people are like, well, that's not fair of you. That's not nice, whatever. But there's
procedure for showing a house.
Well,
I've owned 3 houses.
Is there though? Because listen to this. Because besides just there being a procedure, I want to envision myself in there, and it's hard for me to envision it.
What you're supposed to do.
But on top of that, this is the biggest investment of my life. So anytime people hate on me for making fun of these houses, I'm about to drop $200,000 or whatever I drop on this house. So y'all need to get your shit together.
I agree
because
totally.
Here's what happened. Not only were there some things in the house that weren't great, there was like a really like wet yard and whatever. Scott?
Well, the wet yard I can't help you with.
No, I think there was a leak problem.
Oh,
because there was a pool and there was a hot tub. So I think there was
gotcha.
I think there was a leak.
Okay.
So the biggest problem though, They left dinner that they made the night before on the stove.
No.
There was stir fry on the stove.
No,
We were dying.
let me tell you, because I've done the house hunting thing myself in the past, and
I mean, how many times have you done it? 3 times, 4 times at least?
Well, I mean, I've owned that many houses. I've owned 3
That's what I'm
houses,
saying.
but you see a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what you're supposed. I've heard a number of things. Not to overly dwell on this because I know you have more things too. But here's what I was always told: you have to make it look well kept and put together and clean.
Yes.
Now, people will understand if there's kids and there's toys in a room.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to pick them up and put them, against the wall or whatever, because that room for your kids right now, where you're living, might be Allie's office when she moves in. But you can envision if there's some cars over here on the wall, but it's neat. It has to be neat and orderly. All beds need to be made. Bathrooms need to be clean. No toothpaste on the mirror. Okay.
Yep, right.
The kitchen needs to be put together. No dishes in the sink. No food left out. I recommend lighting a candle. And if you really want to sell your house, bake chocolate chip cookies before you leave the house for the viewings.
Love that tip. I talked to somebody about this just yesterday. And you know what she said? She said, if, say, for instance, I drove by that house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And called the real estate agent and said, can I get in there? And they said, yes, but the only time is 2. She goes, that's the only time I would accept food to be on the stove or dishes, because there was dishes in the sink.
Right.
There was on the steps going upstairs. There was stuff all over the steps. You know how whenever the house you live in, you might have like a pile
on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be a little messy.
Right. It's like a pile of laundry that needs to be carried upstairs.
Oh, that's the other one. Get the laundry out of sight.
Right. So she said that's the only case is if I drove by a house and called and said, I need to get in there in the next hour. Other than that, you didn't even put the food in Tupperware in the fridge. Like
2 points on that. One, they clearly don't want to sell their house as quick as they are hoping to. And 2,
you're gross.
Clearly they don't want to get the most money out of the house. That's the other thing too.
Right.
When you're buying, and I remember these tricks from doing it. If the house is tidy and put together and looks good, people are going to they're more likely to say, okay, you're asking $200 for this house. I'm going to get real close to that. And then I'm talking about even in this market here. It's a very good real estate market in our area, which it's not necessarily in every area, but here it's very good. So those are just the rules. I mean, it's the way it's supposed to be. Don't leave a floater in the toilet. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just take the minute to do the walkthrough.
Okay. This next one.
Don't leave a floater in the toilet.
This next one is an Allie Payne original. I love this idea. It came to me, poof, out of really nowhere.
Okay.
Okay. You know how I love the dead?
Yes.
And not very often do I ever read an obit, but I recently saw that some people were reading obits on TikTok. I had a better idea. What if you did obits on Cameo? So you would have somebody like Emilio Estevez reading
Of course
Scott,
it's Emilio
yes,
Estevez.
reading Scott Free's obit.
Could you imagine if, you're onto something.
I know,
this is a great idea. So,
oh my God, I'm getting so excited.
I don't know. I'll take hello, this is Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Oh my God, he's your guy.
Scott Free lived a glorious life.
Yes.
Until he was no longer number 1. He's now going to be number 2 in the ground. I mean, this is it right here.
This is like the best idea I've ever had. And
I'm trying to think like somebody that's a huge wrestling fan. All of a sudden, Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother? All of a sudden, Bruce dropped dead the other day, dude. But he had a good life, man. I mean, we could do anybody. Who else? Name him.
Kermit the Frog.
Hi, Kermit the Frog. We remember Rebecca as now gonna be blue, not green. Okay, next.
Homer Simpson.
Aw, he sucks. He's dead. Next.
Okay. Regis Philbin.
Hello, I'm dead too. We're together up here. This is great. I love you. Hello, Charlie. It's good to see you. You'll see him soon. Okay, next.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby?
Yes, I know you do a Bill Cosby.
Well, see, I'd like to tell you that this is one of the few people I've never touched. But now that they're dead, we're gonna be together again someday.
I don't know what else. Well, give me something
is
else.
so
I know,
great.
this is excellent.
Oh,
Next.
wait. Okay. My cheeks are hurting. What's another one you do? Oh,
I got it.
Trump.
Hello. We're gathered here today for a very, 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 very big funeral of a man who was great. Not as great as me, but great. But he's gone to the great beyond. He's going to make heaven great again.
Next. There you go.
I need to get that on a shirt.
I know, make heaven great again. Do we have it? I can keep going. There's more if you want.
Wait, who else do you do? Liam Neeson.
It's Doc Brown from I'm getting old from Back to the Future.
Yes.
Actually, now I sound like Bernie Sanders. I'm amazed I'm still alive.
Now
Back
we really
to Doc
are.
Brown. So, great Scott. He had a great life. Next.
Wait, yeah, okay. And then Liam Neeson.
I found him, and I killed him.
That's all I got. Do you do any else?
I don't know.
Bill, wait. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. Do you do Bill Clinton?
I just wanted to tell you. Wait, I got to think of a good one here.
Something about blowing that horn.
Oh, yeah, he's upstairs blowing that mighty trumpet next to Jesus Christ. Speaking of blowing, never mind.
This is probably one of my favorite segments of this podcast the entire time we've been doing this.
This took 23 minutes of the podcast to get to it, but man, it's worth every
It's been the
second.
best one. Wait, do I still get to? What about my last topic, or should we save it for next week?
It's either that or you bring it with you to the next one. It's up to you.
I feel like we should end on a high note.
Okay,
all right.
then we'll end on a high note.
Okay, then the last one. See, I have my whole list.
Yeah.
The last one, if you're watching on YouTube. The last one.
Hit like and subscribe, will you?
Yeah. Okay. The last one, then I will save for next week. And it's something we talked extensively about on the show. Scott, I'm sorry you missed it, but I was having anxiety about it. And I might even have an update for you by the time you and I talk about it collectively next week.
Wow, that is a loaded amount of information in you and your nerves.
I don't get anxiety about very many things. But when you don't have kids...
Oh, you ought to pick it up. You'll lose 20 pounds. Look at this.
Thank you.
It's a great diet.
No, thank you. Oh, my God. My cheeks hurt. Okay.
We'll see you next
Bye.
week. Have a good one.